Welcome to Bandana Gaming, the channel where Logan will show you everything from gameplay to gear. Their crew is here to take you on a journey through every atmosphere. Releases to news, you don't have to choose. Bandana Gaming is here for you.
Hey everybody, Logan here. Hoping you guys had a amazing May the 4th. Because May the 4th be with you, how it was with you at some point. But today, screw that. Why? Because it's Revenge of the 5th. 5th. Get it? Okay. Every year that I've done May the 4th, we've done May the 5th. Revenge of the 5th. So, just like last year I decided to do for Revenge of the 5th, we'll tour my Star Wars collection. And today I'm going to continue with doing something a little different. It's not video game related, yet it kind of is. And as you saw by the title, it's just a Star Wars rant. As someone who's been a fan of Star Wars since they were rather young, not as long as, say, some other people who've been... I was born in the early 80s, as a lot of you know. I'm in my 30s, upper 30s, and I was born, let's put it this way, I was born and Return of the Jedi had come out a little before, and so I never got to watch those in the theaters. They re-released them with the special editions in theaters, and I didn't get them then. I got them for Christmas that year on VHS. I also got, actually the year before that, if I'm not mistaken, is what got me into Star Wars. For Christmas, my mom got me Star Wars Shadows of the Empire for Nintendo 64. Prior to that, I was always Star Trek. There's no fight between Star Wars and Star Trek. My mom was a big Star Trek fan, and that's everything I ever watched. And I really liked the original series, mainly the movies, and then my show was Voyager. But we're not talking about Star Trek, we're talking about Star Wars. So after I got Shadows of the Empire, I was like, man, this is really cool. And then I started playing the other ones, like Rogue Squadron, and then I was like, this is really cool. And then the movies came out. Well, the first one, Phantom Menace, and I actually drugged my friends to go see it. They weren't Star Wars fans at all, and I took them to see it, and my mind was blown. And then I saw all the others in the theaters as well. I got the other Star Wars games that came out after that, Pod Racer, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, and then I would get a lot of the Star Wars games, mainly the Jedi stuff from there on out. And I fell in love with Star Wars. My favorite character was Han Solo. And I really like Luke Skywalker. We all did like Luke Skywalker. And Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then due to some issues in my life, I had a little falling out. Stopped watching Star Wars for a little bit. Stopped really getting into it after, I would say, around 2000... the end of... I would say 2011 to around 2013. I just kind of walked away from Star Wars. I walked away from a lot of things, and I was in a weird place, and then I kind of got everything back together and started to get my head on a little straighter. Around 2015, things got back together, and I realized, whoa, what am I doing? What did I miss? And then I missed a lot of good Star Wars stuff. And that's when I started picking up a lot of the other Star Wars games, which were on the Xbox One and PS3. Told you I'd be coming back to video games. I started. I picked up a few of the comics here and there. Never really watched any of the animated stuff. I did watch the Clone Wars movie, the animated movie, and then didn't really watch much else. But I slowly got back into Star Wars, and then I decided to watch Clone Wars, watch what was it? Rebels, and I was like, okay, yeah, and then Episode 7 came out, Force Awakens. I was hyped. The whole Disney thing actually had me pretty hyped because I was like, I love Disney, I love Star Wars, what could go wrong? Force Awakens wasn't terrible. Wasn't great. The way they killed off my favorite character really hurt me. Hurt me quite a bit. I saw it in the theaters a few times. I think I saw it twice in the theaters. The first time I really had to wrap my head around it, I walked away from the theater. I saw it with my friends. And we all just were like, okay, we gotta soak that up. You know, just... Everybody had mixed reviews, mixed feelings about it. I was more positive about it. I was like, okay, I could see where they're going on this. Well, at least I thought I could. Last Jedi came out. The worst Star Wars anything ever. Worse than that Christmas special. By the way, of course, I did go back and watch all the other movies. I own everything. I love them. Yeah, I was even one of those that I really enjoyed the prequel trilogy. Liked it a lot. Those are the only ones I ever got to see in the theater up until the prequels. And I liked it. And there was a lot of things that people hated, but there were very few things that I had problems with the sequel, with the prequel trilogy. Sequel trilogy. Yeah, it bothers me so much when I think of how Rian Johnson just destroyed Luke Skywalker and his legacy. Even Mark Hamill mentioned it, like, that's not Luke Skywalker. He was playing Jake Skywalker, as I think is what he said. And then, yeah, because it was originally supposed to be J.J. Abrams through the whole thing, and then it felt very disjointed. We all knew it felt disjointed. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel like it was coming off of Force Awakens. It's a terrible movie. Terrible. And then the Rise of Skywalker felt like it was J.J. just playing damage control. And it was sad. It was... You could see the movie didn't know where it was going as it was going. Later we found out there was no plan during the 3 movies. It was changing on a whim, and it shows. It's terrible. It's flipping terrible. Like Rey, junk character. They really dropped the ball on her. Finn, so much potential there. And what did they do? Who? Finn? What? Who's that guy? Oh, wasn't he the cool dude from the... Poe. Yeah, he was... I guess they were trying to make him the next Han Solo, but that really didn't work. I think the only thing that was any decent that came out of that was Kylo. And at first everybody knew he was going to be... You could tell he was the whiny baby, but he grew. And I'm not a big fan of the Sith. Never been a fan of the bad guys. Always a fan of the good guys. But he was the only one I wanted to see a real arc where a redemption arc for him, and it didn't happen the way I wanted. And it's just now George Lucas. going to that, he even said this is what he wanted. This isn't his trilogy. This isn't his Star Wars. This isn't our Star Wars. If you're watching this, you're a Star Wars fan like me. You're not one of these sequel trilogy fans, which a lot of people are calling them Raylos. Oh God, what the? And then we can get into the games that have come off of the prequel trilogy, and then have come after. You know, we had some pretty decent ones with Star Wars Battlefront. Battlefront 2 had its problems with the whole loot boxes, but that wasn't story-wise. That single-player story was fantastic. It was really good. And then Jedi Fallen Order. But then we get games that Fallen Order was fantastic. Fan-friggin-tastic. But then we have Star Wars Squadrons. What the hell was that garbage? The story was terrible. The characters were terrible. Everything about that game, like, you'd have to look past the flight controls were great. It played great in VR, but then they're shoving a story down your throat that's not Star Wars. So yeah, this is a Star Wars rant. This is definitely a Star Wars rant. Even the comic books. Man, the Dark Horse stuff was pretty good. I went back and watched some of it. So when I say watch some of it, because I watched a lot of Star Wars series videos on a lot of the now called Legend stuff, the stuff that was much better than anything Marvel had been putting out besides the Darth Vader book. The Darth Vader book was pretty good. The series by Marvel, that was pretty good. And then we get the mess, the disaster, the crap that is High Republic. What the is that garbage? A rock? A talking... Now, not saying that all Star Wars comics that are out right now are bad. There's actually one by IDW of all. It's called Smuggler's Run. Issues 1 and 2 are out. I've got them both. I went through the first one and then I'm like, wait. I'm one of these people that I realized it was going to be a limited series. And once the entire limited series, like if it's say like 3, 4, 5 part series, I'll just read the whole thing after I get it all. And so I stopped reading, but it was actually pretty good after the first one. So I do have the second one. Haven't read it yet, but so far it's a much better book. And yeah, Star Wars just ain't Star Wars anymore. And if everything goes the way that a lot of things are pointing to with the Filoni and Favreau Star Wars, and who knows, maybe we might even get the rumorings of George Lucas returning to the helm and Kathleen Kennedy getting out of it, which would be great for Star Wars fans. I could see this returning because Mandalorian was really good. I'm really looking forward to the Book of Boba. I was never a fan of Boba Fett until Mandalorian because I just thought he was always overrated. And I know a lot of people hate me for that, but through the movies and through the video games, he never really, did anything that was... I liked his father better. I liked Jango better. But he never really did anything that resonated with me. Now with Mandalorian, he was just badass. And Mando was badass. And Cara Dune, my favorite character, was badass. And then they had the whole controversy with that. And then that really rubbed me the wrong way with the whole Gina Carano thing. But that doesn't have anything to do with the Star Wars itself in a way. But you find out your favorite character in the show, besides Grogu, for those of you who call him Baby Yoda, still call him Grogu. I call him Grogu. Those were really the best characters. Those two were the greatest. Mando was cool. Don't get me wrong. The show was about him. The show is about Grogu, but he was really cool. But there was something that really stood out about Cara Dune, and then that whole teamwork thing, and then spoiler alert, Luke coming in right at the end. It was. And then Clone Wars, the last season 7, and wow, I mean, just wow. Filoni and Favreau know what they're doing. They're bringing the Star Wars back here, and I will say, being a Disney fan, and then going to Galaxy's Edge, I go there quite often when I can. Now, especially now that I live much closer to it, I go as often as possible. Do I think Galaxy's Edge could be themed a little better? Yes. Instead of Batu, I get what they did. Instead of making it, say, Tatooine, which it feels like it should have been Tatooine. Feeling like the way they used Batu, they can literally change the theming anytime they want, and whatever they come up with, they can integrate characters and say they're stopping through or something like that. I got it. And having Chewbacca there and seeing some of the other characters, the stormtroopers and Kylo, it was, I'm not gonna lie, it's really cool. I like the cantina. I like the droid depot and this the Savi's workshop. I've done all that. I love the stuff there. The rides are fantastic, and yet it leaves so much to be desired. If they had characters dressed up like Han Solo or Luke or Obi-Wan or Darth Vader instead of, you know, the sequel trilogy characters, I think it would be better. They have a store in there. I'm Doc on Dollars, and the trading post, and the majority of the stuff in there is all original trilogy and prequel trilogy stuff. I can't even think of anything that comes from the sequel trilogy. In my opinion, that's good, because real Star Wars, a Star Wars that really influenced so many people, is not what Disney put out right now, and it's really devastating to someone who has been a Star Wars fan for, yeah, I know there's people that have been Star Wars fans all 40 years and whatnot, and me, you know, I jumped on that wagon in 96, 97, so it was a little later for me, but still, I mean, that's over 20 years. And no matter how you think about it, this is what inspired me. These are the characters I, you know, really resonated with, and then for them just to kind of wipe them away, or to make them seem like they really don't mean anything, it's tough. And then seeing how they're just totally ignoring the characters in a lot of the new media. I do like the fact that Jedi Fallen Order still felt like it was in the real Star Wars universe, even it was after the rise of the Empire, but before Luke really came into everything. You know, came into his own, and it was just, it was good. It was good. Yeah, I mean, such a good game, and made me miss my Star Wars, and I was like, this is Star Wars. And then we had Squadrons. I was coming off of the high that was Jedi Fallen Order, looking towards that game, and I'm like, what? Get your politics out of my Star Wars, man. I mean, I get it. Whatever. It just, I'm like, this isn't it. The writing, the characters just so overshadowed the gameplay, and the gameplay was fantastic. But this just wasn't Star Wars. They should have called it anything else. They should call it Space Shooters or something, and just got rid of the Star Wars stuff from it, and then whatever, given its own story like that, okay, fine. But it didn't feel like Star Wars. And to me, it felt like a big step backwards, or a big slap in the face of Jedi Fallen Order. Even a slap in the face of Battlefront 2. After Battlefront 2 was fixed, I think Battlefront 2 became a very, very good game. And the single player was always fantastic. And I really like Battlefront. Really like Battlefront. But one thing that makes me think, when just looking at the games alone and what they're doing with the games, I'm not talking about how they're bringing out the Legends books now, which they kind of need to, pull the, I guess, the Star Wars written media off its butt, because our public's selling like garbage and nobody likes it. But the games that what we're seeing them bringing back out, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, and Republic Commando, we're seeing them bring these games back out. And to know that, these games are supposedly now, they're saying they're canon. And with the Bad Batch, where if you're watching this first episode of Bad Batch is out, I haven't watched it yet. I unsubscribed from Disney Plus after Mandalorian and all the nonsense. I unsubscribed. So later this year, if we get any new Star Wars stuff, if we get the Book of Boba, if we get new Mandalorian, whatever we get that by the end of this year, I'll take a look at resubscribing and then watching Bad Batch. But I do want to see the Obi-Wan series. I'm just afraid. I'm afraid they're going to destroy Obi-Wan. And I really liked Obi-Wan. I thought Ewan McGregor was fantastic as Obi-Wan. They're bringing him back. That really worries me. But I'm still a Star Wars fan. Han Solo will always be my faves. Han and Chewie, Harrison Ford. That movie made me go, Harrison Ford's awesome. And I watched Indiana Jones before I watched Star Wars. Yeah, I did. Loved Temple of Doom, Raiders of the Lost Ark. So seeing Harrison Ford, there was something about Harrison Ford that he kind of looked like my dad. And I was always like, I wish he was my dad. It was weird. We're not going to get into that. So I watched everything that Harrison Ford put out, and maybe that was part of the reason why I was drawn to Han Solo. But I really like Han Solo as a character, and his death really upset me. The way he died upset me, and there's a lot of things that upset me after Force Awakens and Disney took over. But they're the ones who own it. They have the right to do whatever they want. But there are so many of us fans who are unhappy and who aren't spending our money on certain things, and then they see what we are spending our money on, and maybe it's time for a change. Hopefully everything that's in the news right now, there's a lot of channels out there reporting on a lot of Star Wars stuff that's going on, like Overlord DVD and whatnot. And I follow a lot of Star Wars news, and I just keep my fingers crossed that, the possibility of Filoni and Favreau taking over the reins, and them turning the Disney episode 7, 8, 9 into Elseworlds, as they call it in comic books, and bring in a Lucas-oriented 7, 8, 9. That would be a fan's dream come true. But until then, we do have Jedi Fallen Order update coming for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 later on in June. Looking forward to that. I will play it again with all the fancy stuff, because that game was just fantastic. And then we do have the Lego Star Wars, which keeps getting delayed, yet all those games are out individually. It makes me go, wondering why they're doing that, or maybe they're just going to drop episode 7, 8, and 9 and put in Mandalorian or something. I don't know. But hey, there's my Star Wars rant. Thank you guys for going on. Almost 25 minutes of me ranting about what I love and what I can't stand about Star Wars. I know there's going to be a number of thumbs up and thumbs down for this video. Thumbs up if you like, thumbs down if you don't. I want to know. I want to see how many of you guys agree with me. Put your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think. Hey, if you love the sequels, more power to you. Just nobody's here to say you're awful for liking which version of Star Wars you like. But I always say this: fans like me who've spent 20 plus years, those 30, 40 years, putting their money into Star Wars, get slapped in the face compared to those who 5 years. I doubt you're putting, the money that people like me, fans like me, have been putting into this franchise for years, and we've invested a lot more time, money, energy. It's just, no one's getting judged. You're not here. Well, I'm not here to say you're wrong and I'm right. I'm just saying this is what I like. This is what all these other people like. This is what's good to us, and this is what's bad to us. But everyone's got the right to their own opinion. And that's what this is, just a completely wholehearted opinion piece. But thank you guys for watching. Again, tell me what you think. Comments below. Subscribe, help us out. Head on over to redbandanagaming.com. Did put up a website exclusive video for Force Friday. It's under the Logan's Log Force Friday section. There's some other things that went up there, some recent WWE and Ninja Turtle videos and stuff that have gone up new recently as well. Turtles podcast, sorry. But thank you guys so much. Follow us on our socials. Again, hit that subscribe button, like, share, make sure you turn on those notifications. We'll be streaming soon. Decided this May 4th, 5th, we decided we're going to start streaming very, very soon. Once we hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, we're going to do a stream. We're going to do a live stream. We're going to do some giveaways and some fun stuff. Thank you guys so much. For those of you who made it to the end of the video, you know what? We're going to come up with a word. We're going to say Jar Jar. That's it. If you got to this point in the video, put Jar Jar in the comments below. Then I'll know. Give you a little heart. Give you a little thumbs up if you put the Jar Jar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.